Udělal interview ohledně skinů a cosmetics. Zcela jistě EA nepřemůže jejich absolutně obrovská chamtivost a nebudou tam spát žádný goofy skiny. Ne. Čet, já bych se chtěl podívat na tohle Battlefield video od Jack Frexe, protože ukazuje nový gameplay a insane detaily, má to 13 minut, to mi přijde dostatečně dlouhý, mám rád Jack Frexe na tyhle videa, takže bych se na to mrknul. Co tam ukazuje pěknýho, protože za chviličku je tady beta, už ve čtvrtek. Budeme moc hrát, pokud vám padl klíček a máte předobědnáno. Já vůbec nevím, jak to udělám, protože ve čtvrtek v 7 večer se odemyká ta mafie. Ale já bych si strašně rád zahrál i ten Battlefield. Já vůbec nevím, jak to udělám, fakt nevím. Jestli to zapnu, v 10 ráno začíná beta. OK, takže bych to zapnul už ve 4 odpoledne, dal třeba 2 hoďky 3 Battlefieldů a pak bych šel na mafii. No ale já bych jako tu mafii chtěl dát z ní třeba... My v pátek jedeme do Prahy na byt, my tam potřebujeme něco projít s designérama a vlastně ještě to, uvidíme no. To bylo na brutálu. Zapni to ve 12, to se nestane. Klíče budou padat i ve čtvrtek. Cool. OK, podíváme se na to. Jaký jsou nový detaily?
Battlefield 6 gameplay is out in the wild now, and since the reveal, there is a ton of new information and surprising details about the game. I've scoured the internet, read the blog posts, watched interviews.
ČTG 36 tohle? Co tam je ve všech těch multiplayer videích? Nebo to je nějaký jináčí typ? A podle toho outlineu to vypadá G36, ne? Nebo něco takového.
Today I've got all of the most important news for you. Let's get into it now. Battlefield 6 on Steam has native Steam support and will not require the EA app. This was confirmed on the official website.
Yes! Tak tohle je W jako prase. Steam hráči nemusí používat EA appku, ale stejně potřebuješ EA účet. No tak EA účet mám, ale to, že se to nebude spouštět přes 2 appky, je dobrý. To beru.
This was confirmed on the official website and also from DICE developer Kamal Ake. He also stated that it will use your Steam username. The new version of Portal was shown and will allow players to create massively varied experiences from the base game. In the clip here, we see the new spatial editor adding giant ramps to be an only up style obstacle course. We also see jet races and wingsuit style courses. Alexia Christofi, a producer at DICE, mentioned in an interview with Mirror Station USA that internally they had playtested game modes with custom scripting and AI improvements.
Ten one shot mod, to je taková parádička. I tu betu můžeš předstáhnout na Steamu. Jo. Ale jak si můžeš pim, jeden výstřel, jeden kill. Custom UI, NPC behave.
So you're able to make your own custom UI and improve how the NPCs behave and perform. There's a whole host of tweakables and mutators like the ability to do closed weapons,
jako hardcore servery a server list by byl parádní.
Studio create a top-down 2D shooter, or even a horde mode where you purchase guns from an MCOP. This is pretty wild considering how limited the original version of Portal was in 2042. In Battlefield 6 Portal, based on what Alexia said here, it appears that the sky is the limit, letting players add geometry, script AI for single-player-like experiences, change camera positions, imagine a Desert Strike attack helicopter style game mode, third-person shooter battles perhaps, and things like a COD Zombies mode with rounds, hordes, and purchasable guns. If this all works as advertised, then it could be incredible for the game.
Only up mod bych si
use a
rozhodně
custom
nedal.
version of Godot for
Ale představ si jakoby, že hele, nedáme Fall Guys, jo, a v čem? No v Battlefieldu si dáme Fall Guys.
Fingers crossed that they deliver on all of this. In the multiplayer reveal trailer and additional footage, we can see soldiers deploying assault ladders. It looks like these can be used to cross gaps, acting as a makeshift bridge, but also when propped up against buildings, can be used to enter higher up windows.
Jak furt proskakujou těma dveřma a oknama v těch gameplayích. Frajer tam 3krát vystoupí a vstoupí do budovy během 5 sekund gameplaye.
Opportunities that have not been possible before in previous Battlefield games outside of grapple hooks. It appears it can be deployed on assets too, like the top of the car for example. This could be a game-changing gadget for the assault class, and I imagine a bit of a headache for DICE because I'm sure that you could use this to get into plenty of positions that you weren't really supposed to be. Battlefield design director Shashank Uchil commented on skins and cosmetics in an interview with DoubleTap.com.
Udělal interview ohledně skinů a cosmetics. Zcela jistě EA nepřemůže jejich absolutně obrovská chamtivost a nebudou tam spát žádný goofy skiny. Ne.
To be grounded. That is what BF3 and BF4 was. It was all soldiers on the ground. It's going to be like this. Uchil said, pointing at the key art featuring soldiers in soldier gear looking out over a war-torn New York City. He added, I don't think it needs Nicki Minaj. Let's keep it real.
Nicki Minaj skin zmíněný přímo v rozhovoru, no tak to je trefa do černýho.
Keep it grounded. Good to hear that. Hopefully that trend continues throughout the live service of the game, and DICE realize how sought after the authentic military aesthetic in current first-person shooter games is. David Serland, senior producer on the game, elaborated on this in a comicbook.com interview. That's also a part of the class identity, how you look, probably more how you think you look than how you actually see someone. We have this shoulder identifier for classes, like with Recon, it's 3 antennas near their shoulder, similar to Battlefield 3. He continued to say certain aspects of different classes aren't allowed to be interchangeable to avoid confusion. For example, there's a ghillie material on the Recon skins, and they're not used on the other classes to really emphasize the differences. He said there are some rules here, but it's looser rules than it's always going to look like this, but it needs to feel like it fits the universe, because part of why I think we're getting good feedback is because it feels like 3 and 4 in a sense where it fits. I think that's really important. Cool, so I guess that when players purchase or unlock skins, they will always have this class identifier on their character model somewhere.
No, všechny skiny, který budou přidávat, tak musí být poznat, jaká to je klása. Musí být poznat na první pohled, jestli to je Recon, jestli to je Medic, jestli to je Assault.
There are plenty of other additional details in the footage that they released too. Here we can see a Recon player has deployed a very detailed...
To jsem si nevšiml, že tady kamarád má dřevěné nohy. To je kemper, ty vole. On je tu začupenej tak dlouho, že už mu zdřevěněly chodidla, no jo.
Decoy soldier behind a shield. Usually when enemy players fire at these, they are automatically spotted for their mistake. We see a Recon drone flying here, confirming their existence in the game, but more importantly, a player has added 3 C4 explosives to it, working with their teammate to fly over to the bridge before detonating to devastating effect. Also, the C4 detonator displays the phrase bye-bye once the explosives have been detonated. The sledgehammer is a powerful new melee weapon seen here, destroying floorboards very effectively. Unfortunately, it isn't in the beta build to play with yet, but I have seen leaked clips of players using this to destroy parts of buildings piece by piece. I don't think we've ever had anything like that in a Battlefield game before. The M26 Master Assault class popped up too. This was a very popular gadget in BF3, perhaps here loaded with incendiary rounds. M320 as well, great for punching holes in walls and generally blowing enemies up. We can see a player deploying a mortar here, confirming that they will be back in BF6. The support player here rushing to set it up. I imagine that we'll get different types of ammunition with this too, explosive, smoke, etc. No idea on how effective these are going to be though. Operation Firestorm is returning. This was a fan favorite map in Battlefield 3 that was remade in BF4, and the BF6 version here looks true to the original in the clips that we see, and plus they retain the jets that have to take off via runways, perhaps even custom color grading too to make it look.
V betě mimochodem bude obsah, co byl v revealu multiplayer, to znamená 3 až 4 mapy a 3 až 4 mody, včetně playlistu pro Closed Weapon System, jako byl v Battlefield 3 a 4. Sweet! Jako fakt mě štve, že ta beta začíná v den, co vychází ta Mafia. By bylo fakt dobrý, kdyby to bylo ve středu a pak bys měl prostor jako oddělit ty streamy a projít pořádně obojí, ale tak co se dá dělat.
More like that BF3
jede to celý víkend, takže času bude dost.
2 new types of rocket launchers confirmed here, the Javelin on the left, great for anti-tank, and I think the one on the right here is either the SMOR or the M136 AT4. Both great options. And here we see an MP5 with a red dot and suppressor.
Oh, to je sexy ta MP5. Oh yeah.
With a red dot and suppressor. Pretty sick to have that in the game. I'm sure that's going to be a powerful fan favorite. And Chinook helicopters might just be some kind of intro cinematic this, but it would be amazing to pilot these if they're in the game, and that's coming.
To je intro cinematic, že tě vyloží jako ve Warzone. Ano, je tomu tak.
10 to 12 soldiers in this for epic flanking maneuvers around the back of maps. The Battlefield 6 open beta will start very soon on all platforms with no pre-order requirement for access. Weekend 1 is August 9th to 10th. However, you can play on August 7th to 8th if you're an EA Play Pro subscriber, you managed to get a key from drops or creators, or you signed up to BF Labs before July 31st. And then Weekend 2 is August 14th to 17th. They also released the minimum and recommended open beta.
To jsem neviděl, Luka. Full HDčko 80+, no to je přesně pro mě. Ty vole, 3060 pohoda. i7, 16 GB ramky, 11, 75 GB SSD, at launch. No, tak to je v pohodě. 3060, jestli stačí, jak to je dobrý. Beta má 35 GB, tak to stáhne. To stáhne i Máša, aby si zahrál v neděli, podle mě.
at PC specs here.
Ale jako Hanzelka si nezahraje, no. Bude to chtít ten upgrade brzo.
Minimum GPU will be an RTX 2060, AMD 5600 XT, or an Intel Arc A380. This is nice to see as well on PCGamer.com. 55 gig will be the minimum install size and 80 gig for the recommended specs. An EA representative here said, yes, you will be able to pick and choose which components of the game you install. There will be a shared base package and then you can separately choose to install the main components.
Takže jako Call of Duty si budeš moct odinstalovat single player a ti to nezabírá tolik. A tam, jo, tak to je dobrý. A
single player, multiplayer, etc. Great to see, and compared to other AAA contemporary FPS games, it could end up being quite a small install size. Better for people who have limited hard drive space and perhaps slower internet connections. You might play through the single player and then decide that you want to uninstall it. Of course, while still retaining access to the multiplayer. Currently, there's no plans for a Switch 2 and Steam Deck version of the game.
Jakoby překvapuje to někoho, že se neplánuje momentálně Switch 2 verze.
Consoles will get quality and performance modes, and there will be visual enhancements for the PS5 Pro. 60 FPS is the target, but with performance modes, it could be possible to get more. This was confirmed by Florian Libyan in an interview with Tech & Co. There will be 9 maps and 8 modes at launch of the game on October 10th. The game modes are Conquest, Breakthrough, Rush, Escalation, Squad Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and Domination. Escalation is a new game mode, and in a couple of interviews that I've seen with Vince Zampella and Byron Beatty, both of them said that they've been having a blast playing this in the studios, and it's kind of a new twist on Conquest.
Kamaráde, prostě Vince, ty vole. Vince Zampella, ten tady sedí s pohledem, kurva, nejdřív jsem udělal Modern Warfare. Pak jsem odešel a udělal jsem Titanfall, 1 a 2, který byly taky bangry. A teď jsem se vrátil zpátky jak Battlefieldu. On vyloženě udělal si trilogii, rozumíš?
Last playing this in the studios, and it's kind of a new twist on Conquest. So it might start with all of the capture points available, but as the game goes on, the number of capture points are reduced, and it consolidates the battle at the end. So I imagine that over time the map gets smaller and smaller, increasing the intensity of the combat, the number of vehicles, etc. And then the first team to lock down 3 objectives will win. Sounds pretty intense. The launch maps are as follows: Liberation Peak, Empire State, New Sobek City, Manhattan Bridge, the Iberian Offensive, Mirak Valley, Siege of Cairo, Saints Quarter.
Která z těch map bude ta, kterou všichni skipujou. Prostě všichni votujou do hajzlu, ať ji nikdo nehraje. Prostě jenom ať se nespustí, ale jedna mapa.
And Operation Firestorm. No word on how many new maps there's going to be in live service yet, but I would hope that it's going to be more than one.
To je dost map na betu? Ne, tohle je launch, tohle jsou launch mapy, to nejsou ty, co budou v betě budou 3 nebo 4.
Yeah, but I would hope that it's going to be more than one per season that we saw in 2042. Ideally, I'd like to see 3 or 4 per season. If they're up to a good standard of quality, I think realistically we might see 2. In terms of seasonal events for the game, there was an event in Hong Kong yesterday and a couple of DICE developers were there. Jack here said on Reddit, we will have numerous seasonal events and we've invested heavily in them. We've already shown some of them, so stay tuned for more to come. Anna, another dev there, said our goal is to keep the game fresh and engaging, and we'll continue to introduce new modes, weapons and maps. In regards to adding more classic Battlefield maps, Jack said we've added Portal to the user experience, which allows players to create their own game ideas and builds. As for whether we'll be introducing more classic maps or weapons in the future, unfortunately I can't reveal much at this time. Anna said in reply to this, you won't be able to play them in today's event, but there will be a classic map Firestorm in Battlefield 6. We'll introduce classic builds or maps based on fan and player requests. Of course, we have so many options, and we want to choose the best possible ones to bring back the good old days of playing Battlefield.
The good old days,
this is interesting when it says to me that yes, there will be more.
Oni si řekli, hele, co potřebujeme je zmiňte co nejvíc Battlefield 3 a 4, co to jde. The good old days. Udělejte ty trailery, destrukci, jo, kamaráde, za mých mladých let.
Remakes of classic Battlefield maps in the live service. Which ones would you choose? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd hazard a guess that we'll see Operation Metro returning at some point. Some of the best BF3 maps in general I think would fit pretty well in this game.
Tady jsou líknutý všechny mapy, je jich o něco víc, takže asi post-launch. A odkud to líklo? Here are the leaked maps for Battlefield 6. Chat. Kdo je líknul? Remastery, propaganda, Talah Market bude dobrý, Downtown. Dobré, jakoby. A kde je remasterovaný Operace Metro? Kde je? Eastwood, California. Badlands.
In a reply about console-specific crossplay, Not quite, it's crossplay on or off, but if crossplay is on, we treat it as console preferred crossplay. So we'll try and matchmake you with other players on console before falling back to full crossplay if we can't find you a match with only / mostly console players. So this is great for those console players who want to avoid PC, but it doesn't sound like a 100% guaranteed console only, and I think that it would be nice to give console players that console only option. And in a reply about weapons here, the reveal event and open...
Díval jsem se na Adisovi storíčka a videa. Adis má normálně takovouhle složku lidí, co už mu píšou, ať prostě zůstane u Warzoneu a nesere se do že se jako prostě nesere do Battlefieldu. Tam lidi tam posílají hrozný bomby, strašně tam maldujou a má tam prostě ty píčo, kamaráde, opovaž se, vole! Točit videa o Battlefieldu, nikoho to kurva nezajímá, tvoje Warzone komunita, největší gatekeepeři Battlefieldu tam. A je spousta lidí, co byli na tom reveal eventu, jak to byli kotkaři, nebo valorantáci, nebo tak taky dostali hroznou bídu, jak tam byli třeba lidi z Face klanu, jak schválně ten Battlefield zve ty lidi z té Call of Duty komunity do Battlefieldu, aby jako přetáhnul ty lidi a ukázal i jim, že tato druhá série má pro ně smysl. Dostali pěknou bídu. Budeme mít 40 plus zbraní na vydání.
Open beta will have a reduced set of weapons, less than we'll have at launch. We'll have 40 plus at launch. Pretty decent number of weapons for launch, I think, and the same for vehicles too. She replied yes to a question, will there be more than what we see in the beta? I think that's kind of obvious, right? We haven't seen the Little Bird, we haven't seen different types of transport helicopters, different types of jets, I think. There's pictures of rib boats floating around too, so I imagine that naval combat will be coming down the line. At the end of the event, we got to see a teaser for the Battlefield Battle Royale game mode. It looks to be set in a sunny Los Angeles. We see a transport helicopter, multiple squads, an IFV armored combat vehicle, and a golf buggy. It's a great callback to Battlefield Bad Company. It then pans to a firestorm. Apparently, the firestorm is back and devastating a new environment, pushing the players together. Then it confirmed that the Battle Royale will be coming to playtest in BF Labs soon. There's been rumors that EA want to see 100 million players for Battlefield. I'm not sure that's
Jak tady musel zmínit, EA chce 100 milionů hráčů Battlefieldu 6. Jo, kamaráde. Tak to jedině ty vole, že by do Indie začali masivně dovážet počítače a deodoranty.
But a free-to-play battle royale will definitely help in that regard if it's fun to play and offers comprehensive live service updates. I imagine if they release this too, it will be separate from the multiplayer, but perhaps featuring cross-progression as Call of Duty operate with the main multiplayer game and COD Warzone. Finally, a little detail that I noticed when playing the game. The RPGs seem to have a minimum explosive distance. As you can see here in a couple of these clips, if I'm too close to the surface that I want to destroy, the rocket does not explode and instead bounces off with no explosive effect. Here I hit the geometry in front of me and it appears that the rocket has physics too. So I'm thinking there might be scenarios where if you're close enough to a player, you could fire this at them and kill them without it ever exploding. Perhaps even bounce it off a wall and do the same if they're close enough. Pretty cool. And with that said, that's all that I've got for today, folks.
To je Woodface emote!
That said, that's...
O můj bože, to je on! Woodface guy vylezl a představil hru.
All that I've got for today, folks. Do let me know if you found out any more information in the comments. I'm sure that we'll learn much more over the coming weeks. Of course, I'm going to be playing and streaming, creating videos on the beta when it releases in a few days' time. Make sure to check it out for yourself. Anyone can get it as far as they've said. You don't need to put any money down, anything like that. Play it, see how you feel, and then decide, okay, maybe I'll pick this up or not. I'd advise to wait for release because we don't know how the launch is going to be, and the last couple of launches have been real bad. So keep your wits about.
To je pravda, posledních pár launchů Battlefield titulů byly... Tak jsem zvědav.
Yeah, that's all. It's a very strong first impression, though, for me, based on what I played in the beta. I wanted to say a big thank you to you guys for tuning in. The video that I released from the capture event has done amazing. I'm very grateful for you all tuning in, checking it out, leaving comments and watching that. I tried to fit in as much stuff as I could. And then, of course, the stream that we did shortly after the video, we had 20,000 concurrent people watching, which is just crazy. And I'm blown away by all of your supporters. I couldn't go to events like that if you guys weren't here supporting me. So thank you once again. It means a lot to me. Subscribe if you're new here. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video. Dislike if you didn't. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Pěkný shrnutí, těším se. We might be back. Myslím, že to nepotřebuje Nicki Minaj. LOL. Hezký, že se ohnali přímo po Call of Duty. Damavand Peak je must return. Kamaráde, to je přesně o čem, to jsem říkal už u toho revealu. Jestli chtějí remasterovat nějaký mapy z Battlefieldu 3, Classic First Jump, prostě ten cliff skok při raši, ráš na Damavand Peaku a běžíš jako attacker po té plně a skáčeš z té rampy dolů, to je classic. To je classic. Operace Metro je jako sračková mapa, protože tam vždycky skřípnete do toho jako metra. A je to zábavný, ale prostě ten Damavand Peak je dobrý. Chtěl bych Damavand Peak. Cool, velice nice. Teď jenom říkám, jak to jako jaký běžný den v životě holky na českým Twitchi. Jo? Běžný den. Vypadá to asi takhle. Honzík to zase nezapnu. On určitě někoho má.